I've got a very close personal friend who came down with breast cancer. She's currently going through chemotherapy, and after every session, she goes home and throws up in dry heaps for hours. She's tried a slew of prescription medications, and none of them work. Or they work, but the side effects just aren't worth her taking it. One of her friends suggested that she try marijuana, and they ended up baking brownies, and she tried it after one session. And it ended up completely alleviating her nausea. She didn't throw up once. But after that, she hasn't taken it again because she doesn't want to lose her job and because of doing an illegal drug. You know, we live in a state where medical marijuana is not allowed. So right now, she's going without any regular medication or that, so she just has to deal with all all the illness. I think that what we need to do is legalize medical marijuana in all of our states. Currently, there's 14 states that are doing it, and it needs to be increased to the whole country. First of all, it has actual medical benefits. Second of all, it's not that detrimental to our health. And third, it's not detrimental to our society as a whole. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how it has actual medical benefits. The former U.S. Surgeon General said that there's overwhelming evidence that marijuana can relieve certain types of pain, nausea, vomiting, and other symptoms caused by illnesses such as multiple sclerosis, cancer, and AIDS. Donald Abrams, who works with AIDS patients, has been doing studies treating AIDS patients with cannabis. And people who either smoked it or ingested it by eating it improved their immune function and also gained an average of 4 pounds. And Consumer Reports says that it believes that patients with terminal illness get far more benefit from using marijuana than the health risks involved with ingesting it. The second thing that I want to talk about is that there's not very many side effects to our body when you ingest it. One of the actual physical traits or physical symptoms that comes with ingesting pot, usually smoking, is that your heart can increase in its heartbeat up to 50%, and this isn't and it's only for a few minutes, but it's only a risk to people with heart disease. To any normal healthy person, it's nothing. Another physical symptom of ingesting marijuana is some people get increased appetite, or they call it the munchies. But there is evidence that for some users, possibly up to 10% of them, that they can possibly develop a psychological dependence, but there's absolutely no evidence that it's really addictive. Drugs like alcohol, nicotine, and other hard drugs all have withdrawal symptoms where you stop it and people get physically ill. Their body is physically addicted. That has never happened with weed. It might for an individual, but it's not there's no pattern. And then, although cannabis has been smoked widely in Western countries for the past 4 decades, there's been no reported cause or no reported links between it and lung cancer or emphysema. My last point is that it's not detrimental to our society as a whole. I think that if we tax it, we can make so much money off of it. I mean, right now you're having it in the black market. The government isn't controlling it. Shady people might be selling it. You never know. But if they legalize it and tax it, all these states like Illinois and California can raise a huge amount of revenue that otherwise is just being wasted. For example, Colorado Springs started taxing it. In the first 6 months, they made $1 million, and that's just one city. California right now has over $7 billion worth of marijuana sales going on in its state right now, and only 200 million of it is taxable. But right now, if there's a new law coming by, and if it passes, they're going to be able to legalize it for everybody, but they're going to be able to raise $1.3 billion off of the taxable income. Um, and another reason that it's not that bad for our society is it's way better for you in terms of health and in terms of safety, like compared to alcohol. I mean, people can pound a bottle of Jack Daniels and die. You know, nobody can die from smoking weed unless you get into a car accident, which is, you know, stupid. You don't drink and drive, you don't smoke and drive. I don't know. And I think it could lower our dependence on drugs like alcohol and nicotine. I think if people had an alternative that was calorie-free and healthier, that they would go with it, you know. And in conclusion, I believe that our country really needs to legalize marijuana, or medical marijuana. It provides medication and helps millions of patients across the country. Second, it isn't very harmful to our health. And lastly, it doesn't have a negative effect on our society. In fact, it could improve it. When it comes time to vote for state officials, make sure to look for a candidate that supports medical marijuana. Cool.